Hello, greetings. I'm Twins for tonight's another episode of Completely Insane. I'll be your host. So I decided to connect to alien Pluto, beings from Pluto, uh, and Alpha Centauri or Astronaut. Basically, the same kind of consciousness that was happening to yesterday. Go a little bit deeper into that energy because you don't really hear much from Alpha Centauri. Even if they are the closest star system, you always hear about the Pleiadians and Sirians and I don't know, same old shit, basically. Same old crap and nothing's ever new, right? So it pretty much is what it is. It's the same old story over and over and over again to the record, player falls apart. So I figured I'd tap into Pluto because you don't hear from them like ever. I've connected to other planets, but I don't believe Pluto has been one. Of course, you can call it a dwarf and all that. I do see Pluto as a larger planet at one time, and then it got wiped out, or something happened to it, and they kind of left the remnants of it. Um, Something like that. It doesn't matter, but either way, I'm gonna tap into those energies. And Alpha Centauri, I got the energy of the astronaut, but this is a little bit different. The astronaut energy is basically them coming here as astronaut beings in their past. So, and discovering what we have here and things like that. So, kind of just taking that into the unknown territory. So, which is a good thing, something different. Well, that's the other thing. Is like you tap into some of these beings, like Alpha Centauri beings, are barely ever. I don't do a search on it, but I mean, Pleiadians. I mean, first of all, the Pleiadians screwed up in the past. I mean, who won with a world like this? It just goes backwards as much as it can, and that's pretty much the point of this place. Obviously, I mean, isn't that just because we don't know what the hell we're doing, or it's just the way it's designed here? We're just known to fight back and go backwards, back to caveman times or something like that. So it's just the nature of the place. That's all. That's all. No big deal. Um, so yeah, it fights ascension. If you have not noticed that, it's been fighting it for thousands of years. So, but what I'm getting at is you tap into a certain star system, you might get something different where, I don't know, things might accelerate possibly. At least that's the energy I'm getting from them, but I don't know the whole story. Who knows? I mean, just the same old stuff. There's like, but who knows? You get just a different energy from them and roll with it. It's been a long day. Yeah, you have the work day. You know how that goes. I have inventory.com. We have private sessions. I have the shop here. I think I'm on the 20th for some people, but not everybody. Same situation here. I have this webinar sign up. I have the social network, private, behind the scenes, and dating site that I have there. Not much on. I forgot actually. Okay. At least I forgot to sign in. Wow. So. Okay. All right. So Pluto. We've heard from the Pleiadians. We've heard from everybody. Heard from the Arcturians that are kind of like grandparents. I think maybe not always the most helpful. So I guess it all depends on who you are. So, all right. Blessings. All right. Do positive intentions for Pluto energies and see what comes from that. All right. Greetings. Yes, we are Pluto consciousness. As some of you know, in your spiritual communities, there's another control grid, as you have in your media and your government system. So spirituality has the same vibration. Yes, the broken record energy that you've been hearing recently, same old scarf basically, and nothing really changes. because some are actually controlling your reality, as you have not, as some of you might have noticed. And of course, yes, you're here to bring in some kind of truth, something different, maybe more meaningful, and then you get shot down or your planet disappears. So, us as Pluto energies, yes, we can say we have discovered a lot of truths about other planets and knowledge, and yes, we had ourselves wiped out. Now you can connect to our energies all you want to. Many are going to have different points of view. Some will say they're glad we're gone, and others will say, yeah, they were on to something. So yes, there are beings that, I mean, we are also beings that are known to warn other worlds like yours and others of malevolent connections. So you have alien beings here and also humans that are, yes, using the same rhetoric as they've had in the past. Does not mean that they will win, but yes, they're not going to make it easy. So, but now the vibrations of, well, how things truly are is, of course, entirely up to you what you want to connect to. Yes, there's a warm and fuzzy version of reality that many are, they're in bed with a nice, cozy hot chocolate and things like that, which is fine. But it keeps you part of the system, keeps you under a manipulation control, which this is why many people get visits from lower dimensional beings to, it's kind of like your grandmothers and grandpas of the lower dimensions. They're not necessarily a relation, but they're making sure that you're doing what you're told, and that's be under the system manipulation. And then some of you can't sleep or can't think or all that because you're going against the system. Obviously, sleeping well at night doesn't always work out. So, yes, you're in a time of basically many breakthroughs of what was once thought as, yes, logical knowledge and spiritual awakening. Is you're going to find many truths that are not necessarily harmful, but hard to believe. I mean, those that have been trusted for such a long time as spiritual teachers might see holes, cracks in their reality, things that they've been saying. So that is for you to discover, of course, what you want to know. You will be led down to you'll be led to where you need to go for your own awakening. Now, many don't want to be awakened. They want to be part of a system. Some are part of this system. They're part of this creation. They want to keep the world clogged up, blocked. But some of you are here to unlock it. And yes, it's not always popular saying these things. And you're going to do it no matter what. Yes, you might not be invited to all the parties. You're going to, yes, get a lot of negative backlash. So actually, Pluto beings are part of the awakening. Yes, you don't hear about us very often for obvious reasons. There's different ways of looking at us. There's a scientific side, a spiritual side. There's all different types. But there is also an awakening energy within us. They tap into our vibrations. You'll probably see, yes, we were saying too much. Yes, we can say we got kicked off of Twitter, you can say, or our planets got kicked off the internet, or kicked off the universe for that matter. And sun star systems have done the same. Suns have gone through it, all different types of energies. So yeah, it's just that sometimes the most unpopular information can be the most true. It's just that some aren't willing to really understand it, dive into it. It's a little bit heavy for some to accept it. And that is where the time, yeah, because there's a lot of fluff in your society, as you have not noticed. So some of you have noticed. And getting down to the bare bones is very difficult. And many are busy. They're going through their work and things like that. They don't have time to look deep within how things are being done here. So yes, the popular spiritual groups, yes, a lot of them are here to put people backwards. They're designed that way. Even the teachers have sold themselves out in some form or another. Now it's on. Now Palladian groups have a divide also. There's a positive side of the Palladian group. There's a completely negative side, and you've been hearing a lot of their rhetoric here. Unfortunately, well, a lot of your religions they've had some influence there, of course. Usually it's with beauty and looks from some of the Pleiadians, not all. And those are the positive Pleiadians are usually not the most exciting ones, but the ones that are normally not normally heard from. Yes, the idea is to trust yourself, and which is not very easy to do because there's many voices around one's person to connect with. You're hearing a lot of energies around you, basically. Some are trying to shut you down, some are here to awaken you. It's up to you because there's a divide within your own self normally of where you want to go. Do you want to awaken more? Or do you want to shut yourself down? It's easy to shut yourself down, as you know. Do you want the stress of knowing? You want the stress of really knowing what's going on here. You now many do, but the numbers are not very high. There's a sugar coated version of it that you're mostly here, and there's another version of it that's a little bit hard to digest. Yes, like who's behind the Santa Claus costume and things like that. It can become very difficult to take in. It has a lot to do with your scandals on your planet, also, human trafficking and so forth. Those that you thought you can trust are no longer be able to be trustworthy. It goes very deep, and that is what many of you are going into that awakening period. Of course, it's entirely up to you. I mean, how far do you want to go? And some have their limits, like even for their own health. Like there's only so far they want to go for their own health within themselves, because some knowledge can be very just devastating, stressful, depression, being depression for a week, a month. And some of you are already going through this, so it's like, what the hell? I might as well know more. Some of you are already diving into those energies of what's truly happening here, the cavern of how things are really going on here. Yes, it goes to your crown, it goes to your government systems, like what's really creating all of these systems here? Is it a creature being? There's, yes, several. And yes, of course, your Hollywood keeps things calm and efficient, but obviously their wavelengths are not as strong as they used to be. And the real world is slowly finding its way back in, basically, of how things are truly here. How corruption truly, how true it is. And that, yes, you're in a year, well, 2 or 3 years, 4 years, 4 or 5 years of awakening within how things are done here. So it's not just 1 year of awakening, it's several. I mean, you're technically going through one now, but this is like your 2012. But it's a different type of awake. Yes, it's a revealing yourselves here, or what's causing trouble here. And some of you are already part of those timelines. You don't fully know what you're getting yourself into, but you know there's more going on than what you're reaching. It's like you hear the same rhetoric over and over again, but you're not getting the deep dive as you're looking for. Well, there's a lot of diving opening up. These more caverns that are finally being seen. It's like you're deep underwater and you're just going and you're not really seeing a whole lot, but we believe you are coming to some kind of infrastructure. Even the remnants of Pluto are on your planet. Our Plato is part of our reality, of us, is one of us. You tap into those energies. Even Leonardo da Vinci is a part of us too. At least he's had an incarnation with us. So about the taking off the veil around the eyes, basically. That is what the Pluto vibrations are here. Obviously, we're kept away from everybody for obvious reasons. No different than anyone that's been kicked off your social media and just put out in the dark, but it's still talking. And we've been mostly listening. We haven't really been evolve ourselves too much for society. But it's entirely up to you how you perceive our vibration. But if you tap into our energies, most likely, depending on what you want to see, you can say a great deal. Yes, and there is Bigfoot. Bigfoot, we had Bigfoot on our planet also, and that's, you say, one of the reasons why we were taken out. Because Bigfoot is not a being for the most. Of course, yes, there's some that are not very positive, but there are ones that are extremely positive. Obviously, are on the run from humans because they know a great deal about your world. But they're here because they're here to unlock it from itself. Now, some Bigfoot beings, yeah, some are not so friendly, and they're here to keep the system going. It's no matter what alien species you tap into, there's always going to be a positive and negative. No matter what, you can throw all the shade on the grades you want. The zeta grades, there's still a positive and a darkness within everyone, just like there is with humans. Like everything else, is positive and dark side of the sun and the moon and so forth. This is all, yeah. So we have to not going into complete detail like where things are going. Do you truly want to know? Well, this is how you discover it on your own. So yes, it's greetings to you. We're the Alpha Centauri energies. As we play a big role in the origins of your planet, as we were around much longer than your world, of course, it all depends on who you speak to. Uh, yeah, we're kind of like a youngster compared to your planet, meaning that of experience. We're also very connected to your ancient Egyptians. We're also very connected to your medical supplies you have on this earth, not the ones that are here to cause havoc, but to actually bring yourself more into yourselves. We're also very connected to Lemurian energies. As many Lemurians found Alpha Centauri, we have Lemurian worlds in Alpha Centauri. So yes, we are like a kind of like a mirror constellation. We just mirror different worlds to learn from them, kind of like a vacuum. It's like a library of sorts. But your world, yes, we did see coming. It's like your world was talked about for a long time before it ever came into fruition. It's like myths of it, of for good or for bad, but then it finally appeared. So even for us, we had to wait, as you are waiting yourselves. Of course, when it finally showed, it was not what we expected. So this world's had countless visitations, of course. Positive light, all different types. Well, they were basically kind of setting alien beings that came here to set up shop, like how to grow their species, how to improve upon themselves. Some were territorial, not all, but most were. Felines, the reptilians were territorial. Eventually, they found a truce, but they still left their DNA here. And then when other beings come, like the Atlanteans, as they are welcomed here, far as we know, was here basically to build upon all the DNA that was seeded here from some time ago before their Atlanteans ever set ground. Kind of like the Atlanteans are almost like a Christopher Columbus energy without all the bloodshed. It was an actual rebuilding. But yes, they weren't aware of all the darkness that was already on this planet. Yes, to a certain degree, but not realizing that where it would go, that would actually take over the planet. There's also been myths about or stories of the darkest on this world, can be this world one day. So they knew of its potential, but wasn't really sure. They're basically preventing the darkness to take over this earth. But we're well aware of it, having no idea that they're going to fall into it. Well, they felt like they would help seed the earth, help the human population grow, and then leave, and then come back later. Let it do its own thing, never thinking that they're going to take themselves out. Now, some saw it, most did not. I mean, the whole idea was to just help this world find its footing, find its direction, and then move on. We have some alien beings here to watch over it, and that was that. Not a big deal. Let the species figure itself out where it wants to go. So this world did start in a fourth dimensional level. Some obviously disagree, but it was at a fourth dimensional level. It did find a physical level within itself too. Found many levels. It was discovering all kinds of things when the human development was here. And the humans, yes, began, you could say, yes, take over the world. And then here you are today. Well, the only way for the human element to truly have this world for itself was to become dark, where higher dimensional beings no longer want to be here anymore. It was to scare them off. And now you have a human world all to yourself. For the most part, obviously, you have animals here. But the idea was basically to scare any other alien beings, half, you know, like your Egyptian beings, your half human felines and all that. The idea was to lower the Earth's vibration to a certain degree to get rid of the aliens, basically. So the humans can have their own experience here. And yes, they experience maybe not the most best positive, but they wanted it to themselves. That was really the agenda, one of them at least. And yes, it might be controlled by an elite, but that was to keep, once again, the higher vibrations off the planet. Now you can see it from positive or negative, however you want to, but the humans wanted to have this human experience as it was, no matter if it's positive or negative. They just wanted to experience it without any alien influence. So yes, it did get darker for many reasons. Just for the human to populate. Now, obviously, there are worlds where you can have a human species there and do what it wants, but here the alien beings wanted to stay here, be a part of society, and humans did not want that. Well, most obviously, it's enough to get rid of them. Well, it was agreed upon within the human consciousness. You could take that out. Not everybody agreed on it, of course, just like anything else, like in school. What is it? You have your cafeteria. Most people want pizza, and you want cauliflower for lunch. Well, cauliflower for people didn't win, as you can see. The meat eaters won instead. It was basically to have a human experience without alien intervention, at least on the physical. And as you can see, been doing that for some time. Alien energies are just a myth, and that was good enough. And so you're coming to a time of reopening your history of where you come from. Well, because this cycle is over. I mean, now you can go by what you feel of this. You don't necessarily have to shift your vibrations to a higher dimension for aliens to truly come here. You can, it makes it easier. But that actually happened. Just keep exploring this narrative of them being here on a spiritual level, on a scientific, on all levels. As more of it's taken seriously, then most likely it will come back in some form or another. It's just, yeah, it becomes more part of your culture. That shows that it's like you have light, you already have internet of alien energies, and basically you're allowing that to become part of your society. So it's going to, what do you call it, pepper its way back into society. So now some would be at a higher vibration, they'll tap into it quicker. It doesn't mean they'll have a physical experience, they might. But experience, yeah, expect that. You're going into a time of the physical human, like, remember, this is just our world. What the hell we need aliens here for? we have cable. The hell we need aliens here for? We have aliens on TV. We don't need them here physically. Are they going to help me pay my rent? Well, in that case, maybe they'll care about aliens showing up. It's just a human element to go as deep as you can without any alien influence that you are aware of. Obviously, it's here. It's just not showing itself. So Alpha Centauri beings, for us, yes, we've meddled here like anybody else. We actually helped your money system to actually keep your world, without destroying itself. We don't give ourselves a lot of attention. Yes, we're part of your wetlands. We're part of many places that we don't really go into detail. We're part of a lot of your rituals, your spiritual developments. It's just we're quiet because this place is already crowded enough as it is. All these alien energies being tapped into. Some of our energies are in the Statue of Liberty. Give you an idea of who we are. Of course, there's an amphibian side of us, there's a human side of us, as we're more here than you might realize. Let's put it that way. But one thing about Alpha Centauri beings, we respect the human's decision, while other beings are like shocked. So, humans, yes, probably if the aliens would just let humans go, let humans do their thing, it would have probably been an easier process. But some alien beings did not want to let it go of the human population. They want to be part of they wanted to be with the humans. They want to experience it. They want to grow up with them. They want to have a cat person, a human person hang out with each other forever. And that was fine, but a lot of humans did not want that. So with us, we were okay with that, but other beings obviously had a problem. Anunnaki had a problem with that, actually. So yeah, that's another reason why Enlil did his little, death to the humans. But they got pissed off because they're getting rejected by humans. Like the aliens helped seed this planet, and then the humans said, "Get out of here." Now, it wasn't all the humans, but it was enough. Because we want to experience this place for ourselves. Like telling the parents to leave while the kids get to play with the place. Have the room to themselves. It was like that. It still is. As some of you have realized that, as you try to bring in alien knowledge to others, obviously people are like, "Get the fuck out of here." Well, it's still going on. But they want the human experience without alien intervention. Obviously, it's more complicated than that, but that's a simple version of it. That's why things are going. That's why people are connected to the Pleiadians, and some of that's here to keep things shut down. But as you explore more different types of alien energies, Alpha Centauri, you just go off to other places. You just explore with yourself because the Pleiadians and the Syrians, they're great, but also there's a control energy around them, as you have not. As some of you might have noticed. Not always negative, but a lot of times it is. Connect to energy, and many of you have been connected to other energies, and that's been fine, but it hasn't been the strongest for alien intervention to truly activate itself here. So when you get a download, as you call it, or a spiritual intervention, however you want to call it, connect to different alien species, and then others start tapping into the same alien species that is part of the reawakening of the Earth. It's not necessarily Anunnaki. There's actually many other beings. There are alien beings that can actually come here to reactivate the planet. I'm not saying who they are. Is that us? Sort of. Sort of yes, sort of no. There's other beings that have not been mentioned. They're not the creators. There's been some people have tapped into them, but they don't really know who the hell they are. There are alien beings watching this planet right now, kind of waiting for you. It's not the Galactic Federation, but it's all bullshit. I mean, they're okay. They're great at everything. They're like, a lot of these as some of you know, some of these federations are okay and not great. Ashar Command, for one. That one ruins a lot of dinner party conversations. But there are other galactic beings out there that are not part of all the conversation here that can really change things around. So all we can say is just open up your horizons beyond what you've been told that's comfortable, and you'd be surprised what you tap into. It's like, wow, I feel this alien presence here. We do feel like they can help us evolve to know more about everything that's here. Not that it's going to happen quickly, but get a better idea. We're on a more trajectory towards awakening. You're on it now, but it's staggered. It's moving. It's here. It's there. It's like back and forth. But our alien species that they're not saying who they are now. You can say Alpha Centauri being, and yes, we're part of it to some degree. There are others out there that, like I said, that have not been really mentioned all that often. Like they'll come out of nowhere, basically, and then you'll see a change. Obviously, I have not seen much of a change here. It's so minute, nobody notices anything. You see it within the government systems and all that. A lot of these systems are going to eventually start to implode big time when humans are allowing it. Obviously, it's not allowed just yet. Well, yeah, because people, their energies are connected to society, pop culture. They start detonating all this stuff. It's like, what do people have? Nothing. So you gotta be careful of how you remove things. So not to say aliens are going to come and invade or anything like that. Basically, give you more knowledge of who you are on a maybe more of a transitional, quicker model. We're not giving any guarantees, but no, we're just putting this out there. We're not making ourselves much better than the Palladians at this moment, actually. It's like, here's some alien knowledge, and it's half baked, just like all everybody else's. But there are alien species out here that can help you to evolve quicker. But how they go about it is clear. If it's like I'm not sure and all that, it might be part of them. But of course, there are trickster beings that say, "Oh, we're here to speed things up. They're not going to here to do anything." There's a lot of that out there too. It's just, yes, keep your minds open, your spiritual minds open. You'd be surprised. Some of it is in Andromedan connections. Yes, they're assisting in their own way, of course. But some humans they connect to the Palladian beings and the Syrians, and some of them use their energy to actually block your ascension. That's probably you might have noticed. It's, it's not things really moving around. People are learning about this stuff, but they're kind of stagnant. So I mean, they are evolving, but it's very, very slow. But you're going through a time of unlocking that. Well, gradually. Well, we'll just leave it open for you. Yeah, we're not making things very clear, but we're not necessarily supposed to. Just keep your minds open. That's all we can say to anything. Obviously, be careful of trickster energies. They're not that strong. They are strong here, but for those that know what we're talking about, they won't have. They won't get anywhere.